Have you ever felt like the more people know about your life, the more they feel entitled to control it? Why do we share so much, and what do we really get in return? Maybe it's time we ask a difficult question. What is the cost of being too open? Privacy is power, and not just any power. The kind of power that comes from knowing who you are, where you're going, and not needing anyone's applause to get there. In a world where everything is constantly shared, there's something powerful about keeping certain things to yourself. Privacy is more than just hiding details. It's about preserving your peace, your personal space, and your sense of control. Think about it. The more people know about you, the more opinions they feel entitled to have. They begin to project their fears, their limitations, even their jealousy onto your life. And whether you like it or not, their opinions start to shape your actions, unless you're careful. But when you choose silence, when you keep your plans, your moves, your personal growth to yourself, you protect yourself from unnecessary voices. You leave no room for misinterpretation or manipulation. You are in control. They can't twist what they don't know. Ask yourself this. How many times have people discouraged you simply because you told them too soon? How many dreams have been laughed at because they were shared in the wrong environment? That's why privacy is power. Not because you're hiding, but because you're protecting your purpose. Imagine planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to show the world how it's doing. You water it. You give it light. You wait patiently for it to break the surface. Your dreams are no different. They need time. They need patience. They need protection from harsh weather, critics, doubters, and distractions. Too many people rush to share their dreams before they've developed roots. And when criticism comes, the dream dies. Silence is like soil. It gives your ideas room to grow without pressure. Let your results speak louder than your updates. When the time is right, what you've been working on will shine, and no one will be able to deny it. Why do you feel the need to explain yourself to everyone? Seriously, pause and sit with that. Is it for approval? Is it because you're not yet sure of your own path? Is it because you think validation makes your journey more real? Here's the truth. You don't owe anyone a summary of your every step. You don't need permission to become the person you were created to be. Sometimes, explaining too much is a form of insecurity wearing the mask of transparency. Real confidence is quiet. Real power is private. Your story is still being written. Don't let the wrong audience write chapters that don't belong to you. Guard your path. Move in silence. And remember, your peace, your power, your purpose, they all begin with privacy. Let's pause here and be honest with ourselves. There's a very fine line between being private and being secretive, and most people confuse the two, but the intentions behind each are completely different. Being private is a form of maturity. It means you've come to a point in life where you understand that not everyone needs access to your inner world. It's not about hiding, it's about preserving. You understand that some things are sacred, and peace is one of them. You no longer feel the need to overshare, to feel seen. You're not hiding, you're guarding your energy. You're protecting your dreams while they're still fragile. You don't feel guilty for setting boundaries. You're okay with not replying to every question. You're okay with letting people assume, because your peace is more important than clearing up misunderstandings. And most importantly, you're okay with not being understood by everyone, because you've understood yourself. Now, on the flip side, being secretive often comes from a place of fear. Fear of judgment, fear of being rejected, fear of not being enough. When someone is secretive, they aren't protecting peace. They're avoiding exposure. They might feel unsafe opening up, even to those who love them. They might carry wounds they haven't healed. They might be battling shame or hiding something they feel guilty about. So while privacy is calm and empowering, secrecy is usually anxious and heavy. Think of it like this. A private person says, I choose to keep this to myself. A secretive person says, I can't let anyone know. There's a big difference. Are you quiet because you are wise or because you're afraid? This is the kind of question we don't ask ourselves enough. It stings a little, but it opens a door to healing. Ask yourself right now, are you quiet because you've grown and you've learned that peace is better than attention? Or are you quiet because you're afraid someone will see your flaws and run away? Being private is a strength. Being secretive is a signal that healing is needed. And you know what? Both are human. One isn't better than the other. But knowing the difference helps you grow. There's freedom in being private, but there's even more power in understanding why you're choosing silence. Oversharing isn't just about telling people everything. It's about giving away pieces of your private world without realizing the cost. It's when we speak before we reflect, when we post before we process, when we expose our fears, plans, and problems to an audience that may not truly care, or worse, may not have good intentions. And in today's world of instant posts, status updates, and close friends lists, it's easy to blur the line between connection and exposure. But here's a truth we all must sit with. You may think people want to see you win, but some only want to watch you, to observe, to compare, to gossip, to gather details they can twist or use when your name comes up in conversation. It's a harsh reality, but it's one we must mature into. Jealousy wears a friendly smile. Envy hides behind praise. And when you overshare, you feed the wrong mouths with information they were never supposed to digest. People who didn't pray for you when you were low shouldn't get front row seats when you rise. People who only check on you to check on you don't deserve to know what you're building. Protect your energy. Silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. Being vulnerable is powerful, but only in the right places with the right people. When you open your heart to those who lack integrity, you give them a map to your pain. And some people will gladly use that map to hurt you later. Here's an example. You confide in someone about your financial struggles. Later, that same person laughs about it or uses it to undermine your worth. Or maybe you post about your relationship troubles, and instead of support, you get judgment, gossip, and unwanted opinions. So ask yourself today, what areas of my life have I been leaving too open? And what do I need to gently close the door on for its safety and mine? Oversharing isn't just risky, it's dangerous. The more they know, the more they can hurt you. Learn this early. Your business is not public property. You don't owe the world an explanation for your healing, your dreams, your boundaries, or your silence. Who benefits from knowing every detail about your life? You or them? Let that question sink in. Is it really helping you to tell them everything? Are you feeling more supported or more exposed afterward? Are you sharing to connect or to be seen and validated? The truth is, sometimes we overshare because we crave attention, acceptance, or comfort. But what we get in return often isn't comfort. It's chaos. Because when too many eyes are on your life, opinions flood in and peace floods out. Speak less. Observe more. Not everyone deserves to know the next move you're making. Choose your circle wisely. Share deeply but selectively. Trust should be earned, not assumed. Process before you post. Heal before you reveal. Don't bleed in public just to feel seen. Understand that privacy is self-respect. What you keep to yourself is sometimes your greatest power. Being private doesn't mean you're hiding. It means you're growing. You don't plant seeds out in the open and expect them to flourish. You bury them, water them, protect them. Why should your life be any different? Let's pause for a moment, just a few seconds. No music, no talking, no scrolling, just silence. Do you feel that? That slight discomfort? That unfamiliar stillness? It's okay. Most people do. We're so used to the noise. Phones ringing, notifications buzzing, people talking and thoughts racing. That silence now feels like a stranger. But here's the truth. Peace doesn't grow in noise. It grows in silence. We often think that to get answers, we need to talk to others, seek validation, or keep moving. But some of the best, most life-changing decisions are born in quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts. When the world is loud, it's hard to hear your own soul speak. But in silence, everything becomes clear. The clutter fades. The anxiety lessens. Your heart finally has room to whisper what it truly wants. Noise distracts, but silence directs. Whether it's choosing a new path, letting go of a toxic relationship, or making that bold move you've been thinking about, those decisions shouldn't be made under pressure. They deserve clarity. And clarity often only comes when the world is quiet. Privacy isn't just about secrecy, it's about discovery. People misunderstand privacy. They think it's about hiding. But in truth, it's about healing. about recentering. When you protect your space and unplug from everyone else's opinions, you reconnect with something powerful, your intuition. Your intuition is that soft, inner voice that knows what's right for you even when the world says otherwise. But it doesn't shout. It whispers. And to hear it, you need silence. This is why private people often appear more at peace. They've learned the value of stepping back, not because they're antisocial, but because they understand the simple truth. Not everything needs noise. When was the last time you truly sat in silence and felt peace? Not the kind of silence where your mind is busy replaying arguments or scrolling endlessly. I mean real silence, no distractions, just you, your breath, your thoughts, and your soul. When was the last time you allowed yourself to feel that kind of stillness? Think about it, because in that stillness, there's healing, there's clarity, there's peace. And in that peace, you'll often find the answers you've been chasing. Protect what you value. Let's start with something everyone can relate to. When something means a lot to you, whether it's a phone, a piece of jewelry, your money, or even your favorite piece of clothing, you protect it. You keep it out of reach. You put it in a safe place. You don't leave it out in the open for just anyone to grab or touch. Why? Because it holds value. But somehow, when it comes to things in life that should matter even more, our relationships, our future plans, our spiritual life, our mental health, we often expose them too quickly, too carelessly, and to the wrong people. And then, when things fall apart or get attacked, we wonder what went wrong. Not every moment between you and your partner, your family, or your closest friends needs to be public. Love, trust, and connection grow stronger in private. When you constantly post, share, or announce everything you're doing with someone, you unintentionally invite the world to comment, judge, and interfere. Sometimes, people don't celebrate your happiness. They study it to find its weakness. Ask yourself, is my relationship thriving because it's strong, or because I'm constantly performing for others? Your time needs to mature in silence. Not everyone deserves a seat at the table of your dreams. And truthfully, most people don't understand your vision until it's already working. Talking too soon can attract doubt, discouragement, or even envy, especially from people who can't see what you see. Being private isn't about hiding. It's about protecting the process. Some blessings are delicate. Some ideas are still forming. Some breakthroughs are still in incubation. If you talk too early, you expose a seed to the storm before it has roots. Let your progress make the announcement, not your excitement. Money is deeply personal. The more people know what you earn, what you plan to buy, or how much you have saved, the more exposed and vulnerable you become. It opens the door to expectations, manipulation, or even exploitation. It's wise to stay humble and private. Even when you're doing well, privacy protects you from pressure. It shields you from unnecessary comparisons. And it gives you freedom to make decisions without the noise of public opinion. Some things are sacred. Your faith, your healing, your grief, your deepest joys. These don't always need to be broadcasted to be real. The world teaches us to show everything. But sacred things are meant to be kept close. You don't see people parading around with the keys to their house or the combination to their safe. Why? Because that would be foolish. So why treat your personal life like public property? Take a second and think about it. Would you leave your bank card with a pin on it out in a cafe? Would you walk through a busy market holding your most expensive item out in the open? Would you trust strangers to guard what means the most to you? Probably not. So why do we expose our hearts, our dreams, our families, our spiritual walk, our struggles, to people who haven't earned that level of trust? Being private isn't being secretive. It's being wise. Protecting what you value isn't selfish. It's honorable. It means you respect what you've been given. Your peace, your path, your progress, they deserve to be nurtured in silence. Not everything is meant to be seen. In today's world, we're more connected than ever before. With just one post, one story, or one comment, we can share a piece of our lives with hundreds, even thousands of people. And on the surface, that sounds beautiful. But if we look closer, there's something we often overlook. We are connected, but not necessarily close. We are seen, but not truly known. This is the illusion of connection. Let's be honest. Social media gives us a certain high. That little buzz when you see a like, a comment, a a share. It feels like approval, like someone saying, I see you, I value you. But here's the truth. Validation that depends on attention is never stable. When we constantly post to be noticed, we slowly start building our self-worth on digital reactions, hearts, emojis, and views. And that's dangerous, because the moment those numbers drop, our confidence drops with it. Ask yourself this. Am I sharing this because it brings me joy, or because I want others to see that I'm doing well? What happens to my mood if no one responds the way I hoped? Real confidence should come from who you are, not how many people click on your picture. When you post every detail of your life, your relationships, your wins, your lifestyle, you don't just open the door to admiration. You also invite judgment. People begin to form opinions about you without even knowing the full story. Envy. Not everyone watching wants the best for you. Some are silently waiting for your downfall. Comparison. Even you, unknowingly, may start comparing your life to others. Try and keep up, post more, prove more. Social media is a stage. And sometimes we lose ourselves trying to perform for an audience. People don't always respond based on love. Some respond from pain, jealousy, or boredom. Protecting your peace means knowing that not everything needs to be shared. Ask yourself this. Are you posting to social media to express or to impress? There's a big difference. To express means you're being genuine. You're sharing because it reflects your truth, your joy, your creativity. To impress means you're trying to get a reaction. You want to appear a certain way. Cool, successful, desirable, even if it's not the full picture. And here's the thing. When we live to impress, we end up performing instead of being real. Over time, we get tired. We feel empty. Because deep down, we know it's not really us. You're allowed to celebrate privately, to grow quietly, to win in silence. The most beautiful parts of your life don't always need an audience. You don't have to post it to prove it. If you're happy, be happy. If you're healing, heal. Let your life be real, not a highlight reel. The right people will still love and support you, even if they don't see it online. Growth is often thought of as a loud, vibrant process. We see people constantly sharing their progress, posting updates, and announcing every step they take. But have you ever considered the possibility that the most powerful growth happens in silence? Silence doesn't mean inaction. It means focus, clarity, and intentionality. Growth often requires isolation and focus. Two things are hard to achieve in today's world, where we feel the pressure to broadcast everything to others. In the hustle to show the world how far we've come, we may inadvertently disrupt the very progress we're trying to make. Focus is a necessity. When you're growing, whether it's in your career, your personal life, or any other area, you need undivided attention. The best growth happens when you're deeply immersed in your work, free from distractions. It's like planting a seed and waiting for it to sprout. If you're constantly digging around to see how deep the roots are, you might actually disrupt the process. Growth doesn't need to be constantly monitored or shared. It needs space and patience. How often do we lose our focus because we're too busy checking with others? Let your success speak for itself. Many of us have been conditioned to announce our progress, whether the new project, an accomplishment, or even a new idea. We feel the need to tell others what we're doing, to show that we're moving forward. But the truth is, the best success stories are the ones that don't need constant updates. Real growth is visible, even without words. The most inspiring people are often the ones who work quietly and let their results speak for themselves. They don't have to explain or justify their progress because their work tells a story. Think of those quiet achievers you know, the ones who aren't posting about every small victory but are steadily progressing towards something great. You notice them not because they're always talking, but because their actions and results leave an impact. Can you think of someone who doesn't need to announce their success, yet their work speaks volumes? Silence allows room for reflection and self-discovery. Growth isn't just about doing, it's about being. When we take a moment of silence, we're able to reflect on our journey, understand where we are, and better plan our next steps. This internal growth is just as important as external progress. The need to constantly talk about your progress can sometimes be an attempt to validate your growth to others, but true validation comes from within. In the silence, You'll find a clearer understanding of who you are and where you're headed. In the quiet moments, you strengthen your resolve and clarify your vision. It's in these moments of introspection that real growth occurs, away from the distractions of what others think or say. When was the last time you spent time alone, reflecting on your growth and where you want to go next? The impact of oversharing on your energy. Every time you share a piece of your growth with the world, you're giving away a bit of your energy, whether it's excitement, validation, or reassurance. Every announcement requires your emotional investment. Oversharing can drain you, leaving less of your energy for actual work. Instead of spending your time managing how you're perceived, you can put that energy into creating something amazing. Quiet action is more impactful than loud declarations. Think of it this way. The energy you use to announce your progress could be used to advance further. You save your emotional bandwidth for more important things. Do you feel drained after sharing your accomplishments or energized by the work itself? Now imagine this. What if you didn't tell anyone about the big plans, the small victories, or the obstacles you're facing? What if you just kept going, quietly working, and let your results speak for themselves? This approach doesn't mean you don't share your work. It means you don't feel the need to validate yourself publicly every time you take a step forward. Instead of constantly trying to prove yourself, you focus on building something worth proving. People will notice your progress in time. They'll see it through your results, not through your words. The less you announce, the more people will respect your achievements when they finally see them. Reflection question. What would it feel like if you could focus solely on your work without worrying about others' approval? Growth is about quality, not quantity. In today's world of instant gratification, it's easy to confuse visible progress with meaningful progress. But true growth is about quality, depth, and long-term impact, not just how much attention you can grab in the short term. Taking time to grow in silence allows you to perfect your craft and produce something that will stand the test of time. It's about gradual, consistent development over time, not flashy moments of visibility. When you stop focusing on how much attention you can attract, you create space for meaningful, impactful work that speaks for itself. Reflection question. What would your life look like if you focus more on quality and less on quantity? Being silent during growth isn't about hiding your progress. It's about letting it develop in the way that's most authentic to you. When you focus on your inner work, let your success speak for itself, and resist the urge to share every detail, you allow room for true, sustainable growth. In silence, your power increases because you're no longer dependent on external validation. Instead, you rely on your inner compass to guide you toward success. So, as you move forward in your personal journey, ask yourself, how much of my growth is truly for me? How much of it is influenced by what others think or expect? Choose silence, choose focus, and watch your results speak louder than your words ever could. In a world that celebrates loud living and constant updates, dare to be the mystery. Choose peace. Choose privacy. Because the strongest moves are made in silence. Remember, privacy is power. In a world that constantly seeks to share and expose, sometimes the best choice is to keep things close to your chest. Stay true to yourself. Protect your peace. And never forget that your privacy is yours to control. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights. Until next time, stay private, stay empowered.